Saying hello to Susan Butcher's husband, the co-founder of this facility, and the winner of the 1988 Yukon Quest. Dave Monson, nice to see you over there.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Trailbreaker Kennel. And we're having another glorious day on the banks of the Chena River, not only because the sun is coming out and it's not raining. I think the biggest reason is the job description every day says, get out and play with puppies, and that makes every day a great day.
Yes, the great circle of life.
That's right.
Now let's go back to the very beginning here now, because you begin this critical relationship that you develop with each one of these dogs right as they are first coming into the world.
That's right. You know, we want to establish a relationship with them as soon as we can, and we call it the trust and be trusted relationship, which means that every day of their life they're going to be trusting in our care and guidance, but also when we're out on the trail, we're going to be trusting in their instincts and abilities to sense things that we can. And so we want to get that relationship started the day they're born, which we do by actually picking these guys up, holding them in our hands, and even though their eyes aren't open, they already have a good sense of smell, and they associate the feeling of comfort and security. Them develop their self-confidence, which we do by actually asking them to overcome obstacles. Now these guys are only 14 days old, their eyes aren't really open that far yet, but when they get a little bit older, then we start challenging them because they want to follow us. We challenge them to, let's say, get across this log. Now, at first they can't make it because they're too small, so then we help them across. But the time comes, like with these rascals over here, these guys, that they make it easily across, and then we give them praise on the other side, and we learn something from that. Looks like we got a scuffle going on. They learn something from that, and they learn basically that we're not asking them to do anything impossible, and also that we'll always be there to help them if the going gets tough. And really that pays bigger dividends when we're on the trail together with them later on in life.
Well, it's been fun to watch this bunch that's in the pen now develop. I remember when they were itty-bitty, like those you just showed us. And now, obviously, those logs are not a challenge. They can jump right on the docks. They're kind of like teenagers waiting to get their driver's license. So this yard is not much of a challenge anymore, but they're still too small to hitch up. So what's going to be next?
Well, you know, the next thing we want to do is, after they bonded with us and developed a lot of self-confidence, which you can see right now, they jump in and out of the boat easily, they don't think much about it. So what we want to do then is introduce them to the older dogs, especially the ones that have retired from active racing. And frankly, I've always considered the retired dogs to be the most important ones in the kennel because they can teach the little guys by their example. So, for instance, if we go for a long walk out in the woods, well, the older dogs will always run way out in front, and the little puppies will chase after them. And when they've been out there for a while, kind of goofing off and having fun, then we call the older dogs back, who run to us, and the puppies chase them back. So by doing that again and again, the puppies start learning two valuable skills. Now, the first skill they learn is to listen for my voice, which is critical when we start teaching command. The instinct to pull has kicked in, and if all that happens, they're ready to go. And the instinct to pull is what you see here. That's that joy that they get from running as part of the team. But if we hitched up just a bunch of puppies and we didn't have leaders out in front, like the ones that we were taking on walks, it'd be like first grade class without teachers. It'd be total pandemonium. Well, with great leaders, we can always make it safely down the trail. But as you can see, with each dog you add a lot of power. So I modified this four-wheeler to accommodate that. Number one, I've removed the engine. There's nothing in there to make me go forward except dog power. Number two, I've reinforced the brakes so I can control this outfit. But number three, whenever you hook up a team, make sure you're tied off because they would pull us out of the yard in a second. So I'm going to take off, but I'll give you a call from the other side.
Stay behind you. 14 You see everybody in the
other side of the road.
Look at what she's got.
Well, thank you very much. And these guys are the ones that deserve the praise. So after every run, no matter how long or short, every dog gets a pat on the head. And then, like us, everybody loves to play.
Chum salmon, and after you folks turn around and head back upriver, I'll tell you all about fish camp life and how we process this for our dogs to eat in the wintertime.
All right, that'll be good education. Good sized salmon too. Fishing in the summer, trapping in the winter, and hunting in the fall. That's the subsistence lifestyle. You'll notice there's a little autumn color developing in our trees already. If you look to the right, maybe you could use your imagination and see a family hunting for moose or caribou in ancient times, moving through the trees very quietly with bone-tipped spears, hoping they come up on a clearing with some big animals in it, like those right over there. Tyrannus, the same genus and species as the wild caribou. These are reindeer, but in all the ways that matter, they're virtually indistinguishable from their wild cousins. Same dark brown coat for the summer, but in the winter, they grow in a thick white coat. And you can see this one farthest to the left, it's already starting to get some of that coming in around the neck. They'll be all white for the winter, so they have natural camouflage, just like they have for the summer with this coat. And every strand of hair on them is hollow. There's air trapped inside, so that makes them naturally buoyant and provides their insulation, so they don't freeze into a powder by the tremendous weight of those glaciers. And it isn't any grittier than baking flour, believe it or not. It goes right through the gills of migrating salmon, and it doesn't even affect them. They've been swimming through it for weeks. Building material in this water makes navigating a river like this a challenge for riverboat captains like Ken and those before him. Because Ken, you know from a lifetime of experience out here, you don't know what you're going to see till you actually arrive, do you?
Notable changes is that the main channel of the Tanana River used to be right here in front of this boat with a good 7-mile-an-hour current. It has since then migrated away from us, straight ahead of the boat and a little bit to the left. You'll see some really tall spruce trees. That's where the main channel is today. And an interesting known fact is that it's only 436 feet above sea level right here. And this river has to travel 1,200 miles to the ocean, so you can imagine why it wants to take the most least path of resistance. That's why it's so tricky out there.
River in their living room. But I'll tell you, there are a number of times we'd have flooded like we did in 1967 before that was built. They built it after water covered up 95% of our streets that year. And this year, we very likely would have flooded again if that Moose Creek control facility wasn't there. Because it really changes things.
Welcome to the Chena Indian Village. My Eskimo name is Masik and my English name is Robin. I am a Nipyak Eskimo and Athabascan Indian, born and raised here in Fairbanks. My mother's from Caltag, which is on the Lower Yukon River, and my father's from Circle, which is 198 miles northeast of Fairbanks. I am a junior at Lathrop High School. I enjoy playing volleyball, and after high school, I plan to go to college to become a registered nurse. But, thank you. But we are now in the Tanana Valley, the heart of the Athabascan Indian country. Today, I will be sharing with you how the Athabascans skillfully survived this environment and how they adapted to village life and Western culture in the past century. Calls that the northern Athabascan Indians had to survive in some of the harshest environmental conditions known to man, and they have done so for over 10,000 years. Before any contact with the outside world, a little more than 150 years ago, the Athabascans lived in an entirely primitive and bone-stone culture, so that meant that every day was a battle for survival. The early Athabascans were hunters and gatherers. In order to survive, they were forced to follow herds of game. So that meant that they're always on the move and roaming the Arctic. The primary animals that the Athabascans hunted were the moose and the caribou. Speaking of Westerners, can you folks hear me all right? Yeah. All right. Yep, so this is the birch bark. It is very pliable and water resistant, so it can be used to make many things, very much like this canoe. Birch bark canoes are very rare, and they're only few in existence today, so we're very lucky to have this one. The ribs are made from steam-bent spruce wood, and then it is covered with a layer of birch bark. It is sewn together with split spruce roots and the black resin that you see. So this canoe could hold the 2 hunters and all of their gear. The birch bark basket was also made in the same manner as the canoe. The Athabascans made these baskets by harvesting a large single piece of birch bark, soaking it in water until it's pliable enough to be made into this basket shape, and then tying it together with animal string. But the Athabascan women would use these baskets to store, gather, and cook their foods. But because this basket is extremely flammable, they would have to combine chunks of meat and berries of roots and water, then roast in and then out until it came to a slow boil. This was a process that can take hours, so I'm very thankful for my microwave. The last item that I have with you is the birch bark baby basket. Mama would place moss or rabbit fur in the bottom, strap baby in, use these moose hide carrying straps, place baby on her back, and then continue her day's work. So what babies do, what babies are best known to do, they would take baby out, strip all of their soiled liner, and start the process all over again. So here I have your world's first biodegradable, earth-friendly baby diapers. The Athabascan people. While caribou travel in herds, moose tend to travel alone. So therefore, the Athabascans became very skilled at climbing moose. Because male moose are very territorial, scraping a moose shoulder blade up and down the tree that Ashley will demonstrate, might bring a bull moose into the area to investigate the intruder and see who is on this turf. As you can see, Ashley is a very skilled hunter. The men would also verbally call the moose into the area by imitating the moose mating call using a birch bark megaphone very much like this one. Bull moose make a deep guttural grunting sound that the hunter would try to imitate. Would you folks look at demonstration? Oh, yeah. Ashley's been practicing.
Moosey, moosey, moosey.
Once the moose has been called into the area, Ashley will use a bone tip spear like this one to provoke the moose to charge. She will then plant it at a steep angle into the ground, and when the moose would have to stomp on Ashley, it actually be forced to impale itself onto the spear. Then all Ashley had to do was skillfully roll out from the heavy falling animal. When the Athabascans took an animal, nothing was wasted. The tan hides were particularly valuable to the Athabascans for these in clothing, shelters, and as rations.
The main body is made out of muskrat. The cuffs in the very bottom are trimmed with river otter. And the black and white designs are made out of calf skin. And now she's going to show us the sunshine rock.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you can see why we call this the sunshine rock. It does resemble the sun. Closest to her pretty face is the wolverine because they have that natural oil that's in their fur which helps prevent frostbite. The outer part of the ruff is made out of the timber wool. Any extra pieces from the ruff would be used to make these tassels. And she would sew these onto her parka to show off that turn around and show us the back.
Oh, yeah.
These designs would be passed down mother to daughter, generate 6.5 months, 6 hours on it every single day. It was raised to be around $20,000. We do consider it a priceless garment, so we ask when you come to take a picture of it or get a closer look, if you could please not touch it, we would very much appreciate that.
This is caribou. Moose. Bear. Betty doing the moose.
Losing her vision. I don't know. She can't tell me. Hey, recycling here. Yeah. What else we have? Boulder. Boulder is the mother of one of the dogs that we had in lead, and the grandmother to a whole slew of dogs with kennels. This is Boulder right here. Pretty special dog. Skiff, being normal Skiff. She's a little antisocial when this whole human pack surrounds her, but as soon as the boat whistle goes, she jumps out, she starts barking and having a dog, right? The dogs speak better dogs than we do. So then they'll retire completely from harness, usually around 14 years old, not going far, not going fast. But Stego is our only dog in the entire kennel who's completely retired from harness. Stego gets to do whatever Stego would like to do. He usually wanders around, he does walks around that leg, or he just
get on. The first one you get on. Oh, you got it. Yeah. What a deal. Perfect.
I'd like to see the old building.
It was actually the layout.
Solar home.
I kind of packed myself in a carry-on just what I was working for. I like that.
What it's like to be out there on the trail, why they keep going out and doing it again year after year. Or would like to get a book signed.
That's kind of cute.
Granite books. He's in the back of deck number 2. He'd be happy to visit with you.
This house right here, I think they identified on the way up as the house where Ronald and Nancy Reagan met with Pope John Paul II. They announced that when we were coming up. Ronald Reagan, northernmost home, met with him in 1984 in this home right here. Yeah, this little one on the right here, that's the man cave right there.
And she just turned 90 this spring. Service, and it might not shock you to learn that Jim Binkley served his country by operating freight boats for the military. To offer a word of thanks to those of you on this boat who have served your country. To our veterans and our military personnel, we thank you for being with us. You are my friends and your purpose.
It was a little bit longer last night because we had some headwinds we don't normally have. We have like 12 hours, 14 hours, so no.
We're back at the hotel. I haven't done this the entire trip, so just to satisfy my kids who were expecting this. Just for the proof, I was here, Fairbanks, Alaska, August 2016.